That's me, blissfully unaware of the fact that the world was changing outside, while I was too busy rotting my brain inside with horror movies. This is the eerie silence before death invites itself to dinner one night and decides you've done your time and it's better you close your eyes a while. This is the calm before the storm. I think back on what a mistake it was to have not immediately read that message. But, in reality, my not doing so kept me from losing that little bit of myself I lost when I did read it. For just a little while longer. That's my neighbor and best friend David. I'd like to think of and say all this nice shit about this guy, but Well, just to give you a little bit of insight into this guy's life, the forgetting the keys in the car and only realizing it on the front porch when you're trying to get into your house trick was a daily occurrence. It wasn't that he was stupid, it was just that he always seemed to have a million things going on in his head at once, and as the case happened to be with his keys, sometimes shit just fell through the cracks. This was that rare double whammy. Really only happened once every 6 months or so, when the keys are inside, but he had accidentally locked himself out of the car and couldn't get to them. What followed in every instance of this was a barrage of curses and kicks to the car, as though that would help. And then, a knock at my door.
Out here remove the grave into Pittsburgh.
She can't make a trip like this.
Oh, well then she can. Is there any of that candy left?
Despite knowing the routine, I really didn't think anything was necessarily odd about not hearing from David right away after that. To be honest, at the moment, I was just happy he was finally not being a total pain in my ass. I heard him go by and I remember thinking I would have to check on him, but I wasn't about to do that until after the movie. If he was still around, I know the bastard would be wishing his stupid ass would have just come and asked me for help. Instead, he figured he'd go in through the back door. But fuck. I don't know a person alive who doesn't look back on the shit that they've done and wish to God they had a chance to do something different. Just that one little change in the plan. Maybe he'd still be making my life hell to this day. Quietly, without a warning to me or anyone else, something happened that would make everything different. It was quick, deadly, and spread fast without warning like cancer. Before I even knew what was going on, before any of us knew.
Clay! Come on, man! Clay! Clay! God damn it, man. Clay! I'm not trying to wake the neighbor. Clay! Fuck. No, stop!
With the movie going, how was I to know what I was hearing was my best friend being ripped apart? Coast was clear when I looked out, and I went right back to La La Land. In all fairness, even if I'd gone out just then, I would have been too fucking late. Mikey? Yeah, what's going on? David? Yeah, he should be home. I heard him doing his whole lost key routine earlier. Yeah, only this time they were in his car. Yeah, you should have seen his face. He was so incredibly pissed. No, actually, he never did get the car open. His keys are still locked in there as far as I know. I mean, I don't know. He may have worked his magic, but I'm sure I would have heard him. Come to think of it, he never did come over and ask me for help. He figured he would have done that at least once. Yeah, that is strange, right? Listen, you don't think he started drinking again, do you? Alright, I'll go over and check on him. I'll let you know when I know anything. Okay? Later, man. Hello, Dad? Hey, what the fuck is going on? What? No, you know I only get Netflix and Hulu. I refuse to pay for cable, so I don't get the news. No, that's crazy. There's no way that can be true. Look, tell Mom to stop worrying. I'm at home, okay? And I'm trying to deal with David right now, and listen, I don't give a fuck what the news or anyone else says, alright? There is no way that dead people are getting up and walking around. Look, I'm not trying to be a dick here, it's just simple facts. Alright, look, you guys keep me updated, okay? Yeah, I'll talk to you later. Bye. David? David, is that you? David, you better quit fucking around. David. David, I'm gonna kick your fucking ass. David. David. Shit. I had no fucking clue what was going on, but the talk about dead people and shit had already put me a little on edge. I didn't at that point 100% believe it, but you don't have to 100% believe in the boogeyman to sleep with a light on as a kid either, right? In other words, I was thinking cautiously. There was no possible way the dead could walk around in my opinion, but there was also no way I was going back outside to investigate those sounds. Just saying.
The strange and thus far unexplained revival of the recently deceased and unburied dead, which was first reported only in the state of Ohio, has apparently spread now to the states of Indiana, Illinois, Kentucky, West Virginia, and Michigan. It is strange to hear, I am sure, and yet we must assure you that all that we are reporting now is 100% true. In every single case of unexplained revival, the reanimated individual has demonstrated violent, murderous, and cannibalistic behavior. I repeat, the dead are returning and eating the flesh of the living. People are being urged to seek shelter immediately if you are not already indoors. And if you are indoors, we urge you to remain where you are for the time being. As the situation worsens in severity by the moment, temporary rescue centers are being established in several cities, suburbs, and townships statewide. Police and volunteers in several of the affected areas have taken to the streets, lending aid and assistance to those in need and attempting to rescue individuals from harm. Make no mistakes, ladies and gentlemen. Although the creatures you are seeing may look very much like you or I, they are most certainly not like us in any way. They are murderous cannibals who are seemingly mindless. They seem to know only to search for prey and to eat. These are not your friends and loved ones anymore. They are hellish ghouls who will murder you and devour your flesh without thought or conscience. So far tonight, there are too many questions and too few answers. Yet there are a few things that are certain. If you wish to avoid the majority of them, avoid the bigger and more populated cities. Next, the reanimated corpses are only alive in the sense that for some reason, their brain is somehow reactivated. Therefore, killing the brain has proven an effective way to kill the creature. Finally, although it may prove easier said than done, one must attempt to shut off a lot of emotion that very well may present itself in a situation where a friend or loved one has passed away. Considering the fact that there are only minutes between an individual's passing and their reanimation, there is no time for grieving, and certainly no time for ceremonial arrangement.
It was true. The dead had returned to life and they were headed to my little fucking plot in the middle of this little fucking suburb. For the first minute and a half, I was too stunned to think at all. When I was thinking, my first thoughts were how all of it wasn't real even in the slightest. But after the shock wears off, when the denial is gone, what remains is the cold hard fact that this is real. And there's no way out that doesn't involve dealing with those dead things who want to fucking eat me. But they seemed slow and weak. They were banging at the window out there but hadn't broken through. It didn't seem like they were trying to break through. Like they knew I was in here and they were trying to get to me, but I don't know, they lacked the brain and the muscle power to do it. When I heard what sounded like more than just the one I had seen out there banging around, my heart sank. This was happening, and it was happening faster and faster all the time. I just wanted to wake up and have it over. Like it was all a dream and the world wasn't completely fucked. Hell of a way to start the weekend.
Being partially eaten by their slayers is true. No further details available at this time. However,
How you guys get down there? I could use some help up here.
That's the cellar. It's the safest place.
You mean you didn't hear the racket we were making up here?
How are we supposed to know what was going on? There have been those things for all we knew.
They're saying on the news there's some weird disease going around making people act crazy and attack other people. I thought they're full of it. I saw this lady down here. You see this? She's just been standing here. I don't know what this is. This ain't moving at all. Ain't doing nothing. I don't know what the hell's going on. I've never seen him down here before. Now she's doing something. You seeing this? What the hell is this? Tell you, I'm putting this on YouTube. This is crazy. They might have me on the news. She coming towards me. I gotta get out of here. She coming for me now.
Making the estimated number of deaths by murder just tonight in the thousands, and it is estimated that by morning we will see numbers in the tens of thousands. A list of rescue shelters will be playing on this broadcast again shortly, but I must remind you that law enforcement officials in all affected areas are advising people to remain indoors and not to venture out if they're already in place somewhere where they are behind a locked door and are relatively safe. Police, and in most areas the National Guard, have begun sweeping the streets, attempting to put an end to this onslaught of the reanimated dead. The phenomena is still, at this time, unexplained, and likewise still spreading. Reports are coming in now from as far south as Texas, Louisiana, the Carolinas, and Florida. They're coming in from as far west as the Dakotas, Kansas, Nebraska, and Wyoming. It goes without saying that by the end of the night, this spread will have gotten worse, and it is estimated that in possibly just another 12 hours, the entire country will be affected. Social media has become a platform from which the common man and woman can not only communicate, but also update their family and friends as to the situation as they see it, and their own well-being. It is thought that the very first sighting was recorded by a cell phone camera and sent to local police in Dalton, Ohio, but was first thought to have been a hoax. It depicted a cemetery where several individuals had gathered for a funeral. The corpse, displayed in their coffin, rose up and climbed out of said coffin. Almost immediately, to the shock and horror of everyone there, the deceased began mauling and brutally attacking a young woman identified as Karen Marston, a freshman at Rochester High School, who was killed in only seconds as sheer panic ensued. This video, now known as the Marston video, was posted within the hour to the popular video sharing site YouTube, and despite the graphic content, has been viewed a total of 167,000 times in the handful of hours since. The reanimation process has been discovered to take place almost strictly in the brain of the deceased individuals. It is thought that after a person passes, their brain activity is, of course, halted. As the brain activity dies, there is a time period of roughly 6 or 7 minutes in which the deceased is lifeless and still. Somewhere in this time period, the brain then reactivates somehow, and when the person rises, it is functioning at a very basic and stinted level. When the dead return to a semblance of life, therefore they are changed, in that they know only the very basic functions of survival. They seem to know only to survive and to eat. Another plausible explanation being...
Well, that was it. The radio was dead. I had no TV, but I assumed it wasn't long before it would be out as well. That was it. The last bit of the world I had left. Just like that, the outside world went silent. All that was left was me, in this house alone. Just me and the dead. Life as we all knew it was done. It was over. I considered ending my own life just then. Looking at that knife, I knew with a slash across the wrists, maybe through my heart or throat, I could end it. I'd never thought of suicide before. It was never an option before the dead started to walk. But right here, right now, with the world falling away and the darkness and desperation of being isolated right there in my face, well, suicide felt like an option that wasn't really so bad at all. In fact, the sweet release of death sounded better and better the more I thought about it. In that brief moment there, I pictured myself dropping to the kitchen floor, my life running all over the tile. Blackness was running in, overtaking the bad, overtaking the night, and overtaking the fear and the pain. It could all be over so damn quick. But then I knew it would be short-lived, the blissful end, the farewell to fear and pain. It was a fairy tale. It was all a sweet fucking lie, because it wouldn't be long after I was free that I would rise up again. Like a slave to some savage need and desire. Realizing I couldn't even die if I wanted to took this solution off the table. I was fucking alive.
Clay.
Hello, Mikey? And then, just like that, I was reminded I wasn't really alone. By some blessed twist of fate, the ringing of my forgotten and formerly silent cell phone snapped me out of my devastation and gloom. Nothing like someone reaching out of the blackness to pull you out of yourself and expose the light.
Holy shit, man, you're fucking alive. Yeah, I've been trying to call David, but he's not answering.
Oh, I'm glad as fuck to hear your voice, man. Listen, I looked everywhere. He wasn't outside. It's dark inside, but the only thing I can think is hopefully he made it in. I haven't checked since. Well, there's dead people out front. They were trying to get in. There's dead people out back.
Yeah, I'm close. I had to take the tree line over. You can't be out in the open with these things. They're fucking everywhere. Okay, well, listen, I'm coming for you right now, so listen for me. You'll know it's me. See you in a minute.
Not even a morbid curiosity. Now I knew. Even though imagine. Directed like a movie by Toby Hooper or Sam Raimi. The Kings of Sodom. There. Realized there wasn't much
Jesus Christ, what the fuck happened to you? Oh, they got me. They got David too. He's out there. Oh my God, get down to the basement. I'm gonna get you some gauze and some medical tape.
All right, guys, we're gonna go down here and see my buddies. Yeah.
My uncle's got this cabin out there. We're thinking about just going into the cabin and, having a good time.
Hey, guys.
Oh, God. He's got the fucking camera again.
Yeah, I got the camera. We're trying to do a little home movie thing. Isn't it great? Home movie vision.
You haven't pulled that Hitchcock shit since you were on the sauce. Are you drinking again?
This is the confidence that my own brother has in me.
Yeah.
Anyway, look at this. Spooky vision.
Come on, man.
Going
Get that
in.
shit the fuck out of my face. What are you, a fucking boy? You're not
Out of here.
Get out of here.
Look at the close shot. Okay. Yeah, so just sitting around
Get a
the
woman so you can get laid or something.
sitting around the fire with no fire. So,
Well, we were waiting on you to get down here so we could start it.
well, tell me some deep philosophical shit for the home movie.
Some deep philosophical shit. You think you're a movie director because you have a home video camera.
Yeah.
Isn't that the way it works?
That is not the way that it works. People actually go to school, film school, become directors, film writers, actors, through education and learning, and you have done none of this.
Well, fire with no fire. Everybody here, including myself. See you later, guys.
In the end, all we have are memories, I guess. David was gone and Mikey was fucked up. He was feverish and the bite on his arm wouldn't stop bleeding, and he was losing his color. Who would have thought in just an hour his condition would have deteriorated this much just from a fucking bite? That day in the backyard with David being his usual crazy self and all of us smiling. Jesus. That felt like a fucking eternity ago. You alright?
Well, that hurts, but even worse than that, it's 1 minute it feels like I'm on fire, and the next minute I'm freezing. It's, whatever that old guy had, it's something bad.
Well, here, I brought these extra towels. Try to keep the blood soaked up a little bit. Here, in your hand, put pressure on that.
Alright.
Hold it tight. You want anything, water, something to eat?
No, it doesn't matter. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing anybody can do. This is one thing passes it on to the next, and the next becomes one of those things to pass it on to someone else.
Well, look, I'm going upstairs anyway. I'm going to grab something to drink. And I need to change this gauze anyway, so I'll grab you a water, okay?
Alright.
Alright. Go ahead and lay down and get comfortable. I'm going to grab a chair, too.
Fine.
I didn't want to admit it to myself, but it was happening. Mikey was dying. I made a mental note in the back of my mind to bring the machete with me when I came back down, but, well, that's as far ahead as I allowed myself to think at the moment. It's like I knew it wouldn't be long, and I knew to survive, I'd have to take care of it, but, well, that was a bridge I'd leave uncrossed for as long as time would permit. Only 2.5 hours after I realized I wasn't alone out here and Mikey made it to the house, he was fading fast. He went through these seizures. He violently shook around. He went from burning up and cooling off to being ice cold. He was pale. It was becoming obvious it could happen any minute. I was losing the last person I had left. No one answered when I called. Not my parents, not my friends. I could only assume, as fucked up as it was, that they'd met the same fate. Jesus, they're getting louder up there, man. It's not gonna be long before they break a window or bust down the door.
In a minute, I'm going to be with the motherfuckers.
And don't say that. Come on, Mikey. We gotta pull through this together. You can make it.
Don't lie to a dead man. It's bad karma.
At this point, I think karma's the last thing we gotta worry about.
Listen, I'm not going to make it, but you can, okay? So you've got to get out of here.
I wasn't as confident as he was that I could make it, especially alone. I listened to him wheezing and I tried to memorize just then what he looked like, so I'd have that in my mind as a forever memory, instead of what he was going to become. That's when my friend spoke the last handful of words I'd ever hear him speak.
Clay? It hurts to die.
He hung on a long time. His breathing got worse and worse, but the seizures stopped. He was so still, just lying there. For a really long time, I kept an eye on him. I watched and I felt sadness and fear all at the same time. Eventually, it was all too much. My mind was tired and my eyes were so heavy. I closed them for a while, hoping at least in my dreams the sun was rising, and everything was back to being right again. Just a bite. Just a tiny bit of ripped flesh. A little blood. And that was all it took. I forgot rule number 1 of survival. Never fall asleep on the fucking job. Mikey was coming for me. The rest of those things had me surrounded. Front door. Garage door. There was no escape. When you're at the end of the line with nowhere to go, no place left to hide, you'd be surprised how easy impulsive decisions are to make. What's that they say about if you can't beat 'em? There was nothing left anyway. I just closed my eyes and waited for the pain. He was right, you know. Mikey was fucking right. It does hurt to die.